The contents of this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered as medical advice. If you have a specific health concern or condition, please consult a qualified healthcare professional. For more details, check out herguru.uk/disclaimers. Hey there, gorgeous selves. It's Cheryl here, and welcome back to another episode of ABGW, the podcast where we celebrate everything that makes you, you. Amazing, brilliant, gorgeous, and wonderful. Now, today's episode is a special one because we're diving into something super important, and that's recognizing those sneaky signs of abuse that might be lurking in your life, whether that's emotional, psychological, or even financial. No more flying under the radar here. We're getting real. We're getting empowered. And yes, we're doing it with a sprinkle of fun because life's too short not to. So grab your favorite cup of tea or that secret stash of chocolate and let's get ready to start this healing journey together. You with me? Let's go. This is a warning because some of the details that are contained in this podcast episode you might find distressing. And to protect the privacy of those involved, the names have been changed, but these stories and experiences are based on real events. So just take care of yourself. Amazing, brilliant, gorgeous, wonderful, helping women just like you who are unhappy, perhaps even with your supposed quote unquote good life. This is a mum and daughter duo, and we're not pulling any punches as we explore trauma recovery and ideas for building resilience so that you're working smarter and definitely not harder to create a transformational life, a life you love more often than not. Recognizing the signs of abuse. Now, I want you to imagine something for a moment, so just bear with me. Picture yourself in your own home, a place that should feel like your safe haven. But instead of peace, there's this constant feeling of walking on eggshells. I mean, the air feels thick with tension. Your muscles are tight. You don't even know why. There's a knot in your stomach that never quite seems to go away. And you're finding yourself second guessing everything. What you say, what you do. I mean, even how you breathe. That, my dear, is not how a home should feel. And I know from my own experience. Because the thing is, a person should be able to feel safe in their home with every step that they take. But the thing is, abuse isn't always about physical harm. It's often far more insidious. It's emotional, psychological, and even financial. And I have seen all three. And it can start so subtly that you might not even recognize it at first. Maybe it's those little digs at your self-worth, or the way that you gradually cut yourself off from your family and then from your friends. And it's like a slow erosion of that sense of self until one day you're looking in the mirror and, to be honest, you barely recognize the person staring back at you. But can you imagine waking up every morning and feeling like you're the lead in your own superhero movie? I don't know, it's X-Men 5 and you're Phoenix rising every morning, or maybe you're even Rogue. But the thing you have to remember is that according to so many studies, I mean, I think thinking of one, the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence in the US, 1 in 4 women experience severe, intimate, physical violence from a partner. But what's even more widespread is the emotional and psychological abuse that often goes unnoticed and unspoken. But here's the empowering truth. Well, according to me anyway, awareness is power. When you can name it, you can start changing it. Awareness is the greatest agent for change, Eckhart Tolle once said. And that couldn't be more true, I don't think so, when it comes to recognizing the signs of abuse. If you've ever seen the movie, one of my favorite movies, I know I go on about it, Peaceful Warrior, you know what I'm talking about. When the protagonist Stan goes on a journey of self-discovery and inner strength and learns to quiet his mind and listen to his inner voice. That serene scent of the forest in the film, the grounding presence of nature can all remind us that peace can be found within, even when our external world is chaotic. And for me, by learning to recognize these signs, you're giving your mind permission. Yeah, you're giving your mind permission to step out of denial and into the light of truth. And this awareness, I think, can definitely lift that heavy burden, reducing anxiety and bringing back some clarity into your life. And the thing is, the more you tune into that intuition, the more confident you'll feel making those big, bold decisions. So here's a fun way that you can do that. The next time you're going through your daily routine, maybe you're making your morning coffee or you're taking your shower, I want you to take a moment to just check in with yourself, just a moment to just do a bit of checking in. How does your body feel? Is there any tension? Are you holding your breath? Whatever is going on for you, I just want you to listen to those signs, those signals that your mind's, because to me, they're your mind's way of speaking to you. And just by acknowledging them, you're already starting to reclaim your power. So just taking a moment to just check in with yourself and notice what you can notice. How's your body feeling? Is there any tension? Are you even holding your breath? And listen to those signals. A personal story of realization. So let me share something that's very personal to me, something that kind of shaped who I am today. Just bear with me a minute, because it's even just thinking about it now just brings back all those memories flooding. So growing up, I thought the constant criticism that I got, the tension and the silent treatment were just part of normal family life. I kind of assumed that everyone experienced it. I remember the way my stomach would twist in knots every time I heard footsteps approaching up the stairs, always, bracing myself for what might come next. It was like the air at home was always thick with something unsaid, a kind of heavy cloud that pressed on me. But the thing is, one of the things that I've learned and I've noticed is that the more you surround yourself with positive support, the less space there is for negativity to creep in. And I didn't realize that this was what I was experiencing was emotional manipulation. I thought everyone lived like this. It wasn't until I was much older and after many, many, many sleepless nights and long walks talking to myself that I understood what I had been experiencing. It wasn't normal. It was actually a form of abuse. And maybe you've had similar experiences, or maybe this is the first time for you that you're recognizing these patterns in your own life. And if that's the case, I want you to know it's actually, you're okay, because awareness is the first step towards change. Recognizing what you've been through, what you've been experiencing is abuse, it's not just tough love or a difficult relationship. It's realizing that incredible feeling that you have is justified. You're allowed to feel that. It's Because the thing is, once you do that, you're allowing your mind to begin the process of healing and reclaiming your narrative. So, as you know, one of my favorite films is Force Majeure. And if you haven't seen it, I recommend you do. I mean, I talk about it all the time on the podcast. It's a film about how family dynamics shift after an avalanche that almost buries the family. And the thing that I think is most profound is the tension and the unspoken fears that simmer throughout the movie. And the thing is, even though it's not necessarily one of those typical, quote unquote, typical situations that you have in life, I think those unspoken moments are so relatable to anyone who's lived in a similar oppressive environment. And the fact is, the cold, crisp scent of snow, a scent in itself that's clean, yet suffocating when it's around you, to me is a metaphor for living in an abusive, in an emotionally abusive situation. The thing is, everything seems normal, but you're always just one moment away from being buried. So, acknowledging your story allows your mind to begin the healing process. It's a bit like opening a window in a stuffy room and suddenly there's fresh air, and that fresh air can circulate and you can breathe easier. You're no longer trapped by your past. You're stepping into the future where you can control the narrative. And for me, I'm all into people controlling their own narratives, because I think that's one of the reasons why people are so miserable. When you walk around, everyone is just so miserable all the time. Well, I'm not saying that they are, but they look it. Everyone looks so unhappy with their life. And I think one of the main reasons is because they don't feel in control of their life. What happens when you finally just trust yourself? What happens when you do that? Because to me, that's when the magic happens, that pure, undeniable, life-changing magic. So here's a little exercise you can try if you're up for it. The next time you're out for a walk, I want you to pause and really take in your surroundings. Yes, I know that sounds crazy, but I really want you to just take a moment, notice the smells, the sights and the sounds. Just take a moment to immerse yourself fully in the moment. Because to me, this practice of mindfulness helps you stay grounded in your reality and makes it easier to differentiate between what is healthy in your life and what is not. And I know that sounds crazy, but I think us human beings, we are truly, truly amazing creatures. We are so much more capable than what we think we are. Yeah. Oftentimes when we've been facing something, we're in that sort of problem state where it's almost like what we want is being hidden from us, like by an invisible kind of brick wall. We can't see we lose sight of what it is we want. And I think by taking small steps, which is one of the reasons why I advocate fun ways to integrate these things into your life, by moving past, just being willing to take these small, I call them low risk activities, we can start shifting that balance between what's really going on and what we think is going on. And like I said, differentiating between what is healthy in our lives and what is not. And I'm not talking about differentiation like in maths. No. I'm talking about the fact that our brain, our mind is capable of knowing what is good for us and what is not. And sometimes we just have to allow that space. We have to create that space to allow these things to happen, to notice more of what is going on. This episode of ABGW is brought to you by Her Guru Hypnotherapy and Coaching. Her Guru provides mental fitness coaching and hypnotherapy services. You can find out more details by visiting herguru.co.uk. Practical tips for reclaiming your power. So you've started to recognize the signs, and maybe you're beginning to see your own story in a new light. Who knows? But now let's talk about how you can start reclaiming your power one step at a time. So to me, it's all about start by listening to your gut. You know that tight feeling in your chest or that nagging voice in the back of your mind? That's your intuition, dude. And it's trying to protect you. So trust it. If something feels off, it's probably because it is, okay? There is a reason why we have these feelings. And your mind is a powerful tool that can sense danger even when your heart doesn't want to believe it. So to me, by listening to your gut, whatever you want to call it, you're taking the first step towards reclaiming your power. Louise Smith once said, your intuition knows what to do. The trick is getting your head to shut up so that you can hear it. I totally agree with Louise. Trusting your gut is actually an act of self-respect. And dude, you need to show yourself some more. Because the more you trust your gut, the less room there is for doubt to take up residence in your mind. One of my friends, Andy, always says to me, whenever I, have a moment, he goes, why is that problem living rent-free in your mind? And like Louise, he's absolutely right. I remember there's a scene in Iron Man where Pepper Potts has to make a quick decision, trusting her gut to save Tony. Do you remember that bit where she's like having to put her hand in his heart? And I remember the tension and the urgency. You could almost smell the ozone from that tech oozing and that faint sense of anxiety in the air as she kind of just took control. And that is what trusting your intuition feels like: electric and empowering. So when you start trusting your gut, your mind feels more aligned with your actions, because it's like, reducing that internal conflict, that goes on in your mind, and it leads you to a sense of peace and certainty. So you know that you're on the right path. So try this. Yeah. The next time you're faced with a decision, whether it's a big or a small one, take a moment to pause and ask yourself what your gut is telling you, whether it's choosing what to have for dinner or deciding whether you're going to take on a new project with your team. Practice tuning in to what your inner voice is telling you and see where it leads you. Another way that you could, do this is, create a safety plan. And so when you recognize danger, it's time to create a safety plan for I don't know, maybe domestic violence. I'm just generalizing here. And this could mean having a go ready bag. I know so many women who have go ready bags. I don't know what else to call them. It's like a bag that they know everything they need. In an emergency, they just know where to go, or they have a trusted person on speed dial who knows what's going on. And the thing is, your mind will feel more at ease knowing that you have a plan. One of my things that used to really wind me up about when my daughter was younger is I'm not very good at surprises. Yeah, I can pretty much cope with most things, but I'm not very good with surprises. So I would always have in my mind a go ready plan. So for every situation, I would think, if the worst happens, what do I need to have ready to go with me? And that's what I used to do. I used to plan like that. And people would say, oh, but Cheryl, you're being really skeptical. You're being really negative, or whatever they would say. And I'll go, but the thing is, I have peace of mind. And the thing is, I love having peace of mind because I know whatever happens, I have a plan. And the thing is, your mind will be more at ease knowing you have a plan, a way out if things get, kind of dicey. I remember Jeff Smith said it best. Safety isn't expensive. It's priceless. A plan is your mind's way of preparing for peace. And I totally agree. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about ways that you can help yourself. So did you know that according to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, having a safety plan can significantly increase your chances of escaping a dangerous situation safely? So it's true, dudes. Having a plan is a game changer. Do you remember in the film Hunger Games, there was a cat always had a plan, whether it was finding water or escaping the arena. The tension in the air, the forest damp, that earthly scent, it was all heightening her awareness, but her preparedness. Having a plan gave her the mental edge she needed to survive. And your safety plan can give you the same, dude, that same sense of preparedness. So create a safety plan, gives you your mind that clear roadmap, so helping to reduce anxiety and fear. And it's like having a light at the end of the tunnel. That's the way forward. And that's going to reassure you anytime you feel stuck. So here's a simple way to practice this in everyday situations. Start by making a small plan for something you do regularly, like your morning routine, the way that you lay your clothes out the night before, the way you prepare your breakfast, and see how much smoother your mind feels. Because to me, it's like a small practice in planning can translate into bigger actions when needed. And make sure you surround yourself with support. You don't have to do things on your own, okay? Honestly, it's crazy the way society makes us think we always have to do things on our own. And somehow if we're not doing it on our own, it's not valid. Well, to me, it's important that you surround yourself with support, whether it's friends or family or professional support networks for abuse. Having people in your corner makes the biggest difference. I remember there's an African proverb that goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Your journey of healing will be much stronger with support. So because the thing is, when you have that support system, your mind is less burdened because you're sharing the emotional load, which frees up that mental space, that stuff we want to create, that space for healing and growth. And it also reminds you that you're not alone, which is kind of counterintuitive, I know, but that's incredibly comforting. So make it a habit to reach out to someone you trust once a week, even if it's for a quick chat. And that could be a coffee date or a phone call or even a fun text exchange. I have a few friends that I literally go on WhatsApp and just send them a message, because to me, that connection reinforces the fact that you're supported and you are loved. The path to healing. Now, one of the reasons why I created Her Guru community, it's a WhatsApp community, and the whole idea is so that I'm not bombarding you with emails and stuff that you're never going to read. It's really about creating an environment where you feel supported. And some of those people never become my clients, But the thing is, they feel like they're in a safe space where they can share their thoughts and I will share back with them. And yes, of course, some of those people have become my clients. But the whole idea of me creating that environment, that community, was to share myself, to share me. So I just wanted to just add that. Yes, it is a bit of a plug for what I do, the fact that I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and a mental trauma coach, of course. But if you ever feel like you need that support and you want a space where you're not going to be judged, then join the Her Guru WhatsApp community. The link's always either on my Facebook page or post and on the website, of course. So, where are we? Let's look at some pathways to healing. So now that we've talked about recognizing the signs, sharing your story and taking practical steps, let's focus on the most important part, that path or those pathways to healings. So picture yourself standing tall, rolling the shoulders back, taking a deep, calming breath. That's it. Because to me, this is the start of your healing journey, a journey where you can reclaim your self-esteem piece by piece and day by day. Because healing from emotional and psychological abuse isn't a straight path, my friend. I know you read those books that just said it's a linear path. You just do blah, 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 and you're there. No, it's not that always that easy. But the thing is, don't let that put you off, because every step you take towards bringing yourself closer to the life that you deserve is a good thing. One filled with peace, joy, and self-love. And remember, healing isn't always about forgetting about what's happened, because I think that can be quite corrosive as well, kind of putting those parameters on things. To me, it's about integrating those experiences into the fabric of who you are. Because once you do that, you're emerging a stronger, a wiser, and a more compassionate person to the world, and more importantly, towards yourself. So, and you'll notice that as you're healing, as you're taking those steps, your mind will become clearer, like clouds parting. Have you ever seen it after a storm? You'll start to feel more connected with who you are, yourself, and more in control of your life. And yes, it's a gradual process, but with each step, you'll feel lighter, you'll feel more at peace, and you'll feel more in tune with who you really are. And that's what it's all about. That's what life's all about, I think. Being more in tune with who you really are and accepting yourself and that level of self-compassion at a really deep and integrated level. So here's something beautiful to try. I want you to create a small ritual for yourself, either a daily or weekly practice. It's got to be something that you know that you're going to be doing, but it's the idea is that it symbolizes your healing. So it could be lighting a candle and taking a few moments to just deep briefly. It could be journaling your thoughts, or it even could be just taking a walk in nature. I don't mind what it is. But the thing is, I want you to let this ritual be your touchstone, a reminder that you are on your path to healing and growth. Okay? So whatever you do, I want you to remember that you're not alone on this path. You have the strength within you to overcome, to heal, and to shine brighter than ever before. Okay? Healing is a journey, just like the journey you take to work. It's one where you don't have to walk on your own. I want to thank you for, joining me on this. And I hope that today's episode really resonates with you. And if it does, I want to encourage you to reach out, whether that's to a trusted friend, to a professional, or even just me here at Her Guru. Let's take this journey together, one step at a time. And that's it, my lovely friends, wrapping up another episode of ABGW. If today's chat about recognizing those subtle signs of abuse resonates with you, take a deep breath now, because you know you've got this. Because healing isn't a sprint, it's a beautiful, messy, empowering journey, and every step you take brings you closer to living that joy-filled life that you deserve. Remember, you are not alone. Okay, so I'm right here for you. So go ahead, take that next step and keep shining your bright, bright light, brighter than ever. Until the next time, stay amazing, brilliant, gorgeous, wonderful. You've got a whole lot of power waiting for you.